Misiones is one of the 23 provinces of Argentina, located in the northeastern corner of the country in the Mesopotamia region. It is surrounded by Paraguay to the northwest, Brazil to the north, east and south, and Corrientes Province of Argentina to the southwest. This was an early area of Roman Catholic missionary activity by the Society of Jesus in what was then called the Province of Paraguay, beginning in the early 17th century. In 1984, the ruins of 4 mission sites in Argentina were designated World Heritage Sites by UNESCO. History. Indigenous peoples of various cultures lived in the area of the future province for thousands of years. At the time of European encounter, it was occupied by the Kaingang and Zarkaling, later followed by the Guarani. The first European to visit the region, Sebastian Cabot, discovered Apopay Falls while navigating the Parana River in December 1527. In 1541, Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca reached the Iguazu Falls. In the 17th century, members of the Society of Jesus came to the region as missionaries. They began to establish a string of Jesuit reductions, most notably that of San Ignacio. In a few years they set up 30 mission villages. They taught the Guarani Western-style agriculture and crafts. The natives had subsisted in the jungle environment and suffered at the hands of European slave drivers. Their crafts were sold and traded along the river, and they shared in the reduction's prosperity. In 1759, the Portuguese government, at the insistence of its anti-Jesuit Secretary of State, the Marquis de Pombal, ordered all reductions closed in its territory. The Marquis eventually prevailed in 1773 on Pope Clement XIV to have the Jesuit order suppressed. With the abandoning of the missions, the prosperous trade surrounding these reductions quickly vanished. Colonists imposed a brutal plantation economy in the region, forcing the Guarani to act as slave labor. In 1814, Gervasio Posadas, the director of the United Provinces of the Rio de la Plata, declared missions annexed to Argentina's Corrientes. Argentina did not exert de facto control over missions, which was claimed by several countries and effectively governed itself. In 1830, Argentine military forces from Corrientes Province took control of missions. In 1838, Paraguay occupied missions, claiming the area on the basis that the mission's population consisted of indigenous Guarani, the major ethnic group of Paraguay. In 1865, Paraguayan forces invaded missions again in what became the War of the Triple Alliance. Following the defeat of Paraguay and its peace agreement with Argentina, Paraguay gave up its claim to the missions territory. Although Argentina had claimed missions since 1814, academics tend to interpret Argentine possession of missions as beginning with the defeat of Paraguay in the War of the Triple Alliance. Bethel writes that the Treaty of Alliance contained secret clauses providing for the annexation of disputed territory in northern Paraguay by Brazil and regions in the east and west of Paraguay by Argentina. After a long and harrowing war, Argentina got it from a prostrate Paraguay territory in missions. Scobie states that the political status of missions remained vague, and that Argentina gained the region as a byproduct of the Paraguayan War. In the 1860s, the War of the Triple Alliance left Paraguay much impoverished, and missions benefited economically from belonging to Argentina. In 1876, the Argentine President Nicolas Avellaneda, assisted by his close friend, General Pietro Castro, proclaimed the Immigration and Colonization Law. This law fostered the immigration of European colonists in order to populate the vast unspoiled Argentinian territories. Several colonizing companies formed under this law. One of them, Adolf Schwelm's El Dorado Colonization y Explotación de Bosques Ltda. S.A., founded the city of El Dorado in 1919 with a port on the Upper Parana, its agricultural colonies and experimental farms, the orange and grapefruit tree plantations, and the cultivation of yerba mate. The mills and the dryers for such product are characteristic of this area. Swedish Argentines became well known for growing yerba mate. Missions received many immigrants, mostly from Europe, coming mainly via southern Brazil. Some came from Buenos Aires, and from Eastern Europe, in particular large numbers of Poles and Ukrainians. Since then, missions has continued to benefit economically and has developed politically within Argentina. It has been successfully integrated into the Argentine state. As of 2016, control of the province is not contested. On December 10, 1953, the National Territory of Misiones gained provincial status in accordance with Law 14.294, and its constitution was approved on April 21, 1958. Missions received more attention from national policymakers following an international agreement to construct the Yacyretá hydroelectric dam on a point in the Parana River shared by Paraguay and Corrientes Province. When the dam became fully operative in the 1990s, the Parana's waters all along the mission's shores rose. They flooded lands that the dam's authorities had failed to clear and condition adequately, resulting in the onset of mosquito-transmitted illnesses, such as leishmaniasis, yellow fever, dengue, and malaria. The entire mission's shores along the Parana River is now confined by two dams, one of them Yacyretá, downstream of the river, and the other Itaipu, located in Brazil and Paraguay, upstream of the river and north of Puerto Iguaçu. As of 2016, Argentina is pursuing an agreement with Paraguay to expand the reservoir works in order to double the facility's electricity production. Geography. Misiones is the second smallest province after Tucumán. The Misiones Plateau includes a part of Brazil across the border. The rocks contain significant quantities of iron which forms a part of the soil, giving it a reddish color. At the center of the plateau rises the Sierra de Misiones, its highest peak, 843 meters, near Bernardo de Irigoyen, in the Cerro Rincon. The province is embraced by three big rivers including the Parana, Uruguay and Iguaçu. Iguaçu Falls of spectacular waterfalls on the Iguaçu River in the northwest corner of the province, near the city of Puerto Iguaçu. Misiones shares the falls with the Brazilian state of Parana. Meanwhile, the international border with Paraguay is close by. Climate. The subtropical climate has no dry season, which makes Misiones one of the most humid provinces in Argentina. The vegetation is the so-called selva misionera. Part of it has been transformed by mankind to implant cultures and ranching. The original biome is protected in Iguaçu National Park, part of the Alto Parana Atlantic forests, in turn part of the Atlantic forest biome. Population. There are 1,101, 5,593 people living in Misiones according to the National Census of 2010. A part of the population is descendant of indigenous peoples and also Spanish who reached during the colonization and mixed with natives. Another part of the residents are descendants of European immigrants. Unlike many regions of Argentina, where the immigrants came through Buenos Aires, most of the immigrants who settled in Misiones came through southern Brazil. The ethnic groups who settled in Misiones after Spaniards are Italians, Germans, Poles, Ukrainians, Swiss, Russians, Swedes, Danes and a small number of Arabs, Japanese and, recently, Laotians and Chinese. For the 1960s, the province has also received immigrants from Brazil and Paraguay. The literacy rate is 91.4%. Economy. Misiones economy, like most in northern Argentina, is relatively underdeveloped yet fairly well diversified. Its 2006 output was estimated at $4.8 billion or $4,940 per capita, over 40% below the national average. Though its rainy, erosion-prone geography discourages intensive crop farming, agriculture makes an important contribution to the province's economy, adding about 10% to the total. Misiones' thick forests have long provided for the ample production of roundwood without excessive impact on its ecosystem. The principal exploited trees are the piranha pine, guatambu, cedar, petiribe, incense, cane water pipe, anquico, eucalyptus and guaica. Misiones' chief source of agricultural income, however, has long been the cultivation of yerba mate. Misiones is Argentina's leading producer. Tea, citrus fruit and, in minor amounts, tobacco, sugar cane, rice, coffee, cocoa and coconut are also cultivated in Misiones. Light manufacturing and tourism also contribute to the local economy, each adding about 13% to the total. Political division. The province is divided in 17 departments,